What is a man? What makes a man a man? Is it a set of testicles? Is it having a penis? I thought about this a lot in my day. Is it the ability to kill, to use guns, to go to war? You know, what is a man? You know, I mean, biologically it's having a penis and a testicle, I guess, being born with the right chromosomes, I guess. Is it being straight? Is it being, does that make a man a man? Well, not in my opinion. I think the one quality men have that women kind of lack in general, to a large degree, not all women, but I'm just saying this one line that can be drawn, in my opinion, between men and women, and not all men either. What makes a man, someone you respect as a man. The one quality I find that's important is self-control. Self-control. The ability to say no to yourself. No, I'm not going to do that. Sorry. The power to say no. Self-control. That's probably what makes a man, in my opinion. That's power. And it's a power men and women respect, and women want and clamor after. Put another way, women don't like weak men. I've talked to hundreds of women, like I say, and very intimately about sex, love, and relationships in my lifetime. And the one thing that kept coming through again and again in these discussions, I made it my business to do that, as a matter of fact, to learn things. And because I don't judge women when I'm talking to them, I judge them later on, of course. Because I don't judge them, I'm non-judgmental. They can tell me anything, I don't judge them. If I told you some of the things, I know a woman who once actually tried to have sex with a dog. She never told anybody this in her entire life. She was young, she was like 16, she was babysitting, the family had a dog, she literally stripped down, got on all fours and tried to get this dog to have sex with her. She told me this because she knew I wasn't going to go crazy and call her names and all these things. I'm sure you will, I wish you wouldn't. It doesn't turn me on, but I'm just saying, that's how open women can be with me about things. And the one thing, time and time again, I have heard from women, is they don't like men they can walk on. They don't have respect for men who they can walk on. Weak-willed, weak men. Now, they might marry those men sometimes. I find that's on the subject, but I find women will sometimes, and studies will show, by the way, and I've read studies like this, and I believe them to be true, women will oftentimes date the bad boys, the strong guys, the guys who are strong, who have self-control. They'll date those guys, but then they'll marry the weak guy sometimes because they can control him. They can get money, they can get kids, they can order them around, they can get what a friend of mine called a little worker bee. I'll make a video about that too. They'll sometimes marry men like that because they can control those men. But what really attracts them, what really turns them, what makes them moist, is men with some strength. Men who can say, no, I'm not going to do that. I had a woman that I was dating who I was quite fond of. We've been dating for about 6 months, and we were laying in bed one night after about 2 in the morning, and we weren't exactly cuddling, we were kind of laying side by side, and we had our hands on each other, and we were talking about love and relationships and other things. And she said, Kel, one thing I really like about you is you will not put up with any bullshit from women. You can't be pushed around. Oddly enough, that very reason I dumped her not long after that, because she wanted everything all her own way. She was very selfish that way in the relationship. She was not in sex. In sex, she was absolutely. She was the best sex I ever had. It broke my heart. And later on, found out I was in love with her. I realized I was in love with her, and that was even harder to take, really. But still do have feelings for her. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work, guys. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. It was hard for me to dump her. I actually went back to her at one point and called her again, and we got together briefly, and it was worse than ever, and we had a big fight, and kind of badly. But then I just walked away. She wrote me a nasty letter, and my friend said, "Oh, you're going to respond to that, Kel. I know you'll respond." I didn't. I never wrote her back. But that's the kind of thing she was actually talking about, that I wouldn't put up with her bullshit. I've been that way my entire life with relationships, I just won't put up with it, I just won't. I don't try to control women. I don't try to make women do what I want them to do. I'm not domineering. I just have lines I won't cross. Some of these are just deal breakers. That's all there is to it. But this is self-control I'm talking about. Personal strength. Women do not like men they can walk on. I've heard that exact phrase from so many women. It's amazing. I don't like men I can walk on. You know, I had a married woman write me once. I had on a personal site years ago. We talked on the phone. She sounded very exciting. She was hot, nice looking body. She was an older woman. She's like in her late 30s. Then she reveals she's married. You know, she tells me she's married. Well, I don't do that. I don't bang married women. You know? It's disrespectful to other men. It's disrespectful to myself. I just don't do that. I don't think it's right. I'm not being moral about it. It's just not good karma for a lot of reasons. It was tempting. I almost did. But I don't cheat. I don't bang other men's women. I don't do that stuff. It's just bad karma. Bad for everybody. Anyway, we had long talks about them after that. You know, it was, again, a chance for me to be non-judgmental with her and actually get her true feelings in the subject. And I asked her, I said, what are you going to do when your husband finds out you're doing these things? Because she'd done it before. In fact, she'd been having an affair with his best friend for years. And she said, oh, he'll cry, but he'll get over it. Months later, she called me again, we talked, and she revealed she was pregnant. She's pregnant with the baby from her husband's best friend, who was a business owner, kind of a macho guy. You know, and, you know, I was like, oh my God, you know, what are you going to do? I expected to say, I'm going to get an abortion, but no, she was going to have this child. And I said, what the hell? Your husband's going to go nuts. And she said, you know, he'll put up with it. He'll put up with it. She had no respect for this guy whatsoever, but he made money and he took care of her. She didn't have to work. You know, she didn't care. He'll put up with it. He'll cry, he'll be upset, but he'll put up with it. You know. But anyway, that was the man she was married to, but the man she liked having sex with, she liked getting banged hard by, was the more strong, independent man who wouldn't put up with any of her bullshit. Men and women are attracted to strength. It's what they're attracted to. It's one reason why I don't recommend marriage to men, because once you marry a woman, now she has all the power you had. She has your money. She can take more of it. You know, you've really lost all your power in her eyes. You become weak because she owns half of your stuff legally in this country through marriage. You know. Anyway, but personal strength, the ability to say no. I'm not saying no, screaming. I'm not saying argue with her. I'm saying just the ability to politely say no. I can't deal with that. I won't do that. You know, I'm sorry, but you know, I'm not okay with you going out and dancing with your male friend from work. I'm not okay with that. You know, I love you, but if you're going to do that, when you come home tonight, all of your stuff will be in the front porch. It's just a deal breaker. Sorry, you know. Women like strength. That's why a lot of guys were trying to date go up to women. Oh, you're so beautiful. Women are like, oh, ho hum. They hear it all the time. They don't care about that. But the guy walks up and says, looks at her and says, what are you doing here tonight? You look like you're trouble to me. He just looks at her. She's usually like, what's this guy all about? This whole business of negging women. I don't really neg women myself, per se. Walk up and say, man, your hair looks like crap, or something like that. I don't really neg women. But I see why it works. Because you're being strong. You're being an alpha male. You're saying, hey, babe, you know, you're being an alpha male. You're letting her know you're not that interested, for one thing. If you're too interested in a woman, if you want one too badly, if you want sex too badly from a woman, they're going to sense that. It just turns them off because it's weak. And women want men they can't have. The story I told about the woman who held the phone along in her hand like this, waiting for that doctor to call. It's because he was a dominant, powerful man to her. Not a domineering man, but a dominant man. He had a good job, he was powerful, he made good money, and he wasn't that interested in her because he could get other women too. I talk on my videos here, in that one about men going their own way in men's rights, how it's good for men to take some time off from dating and learn to enjoy their life and love their life. And if they can, have personal power, have money, have a decent car, dress well, look good, be in good shape, but not have to be with women. Because oddly enough, and some of you guys know this, it's like when men are married, and all of a sudden, women are coming out of the woodwork trying to date them. Because they aren't that interested in women, and the women know that. It's why a lot of women chase married men, because it's something they can't have and they want it. And the men, got a wife already. So it's a challenge, It's personal power. but sucking up to women and treating women like little icons, putting them on a pedestal. Oh, it's a woman. Oh, I better get on my knees and bow down to her. And if I say she's beautiful enough, and I do everything she wants, and buy her drinks. I've never bought a woman a drink in my life, and I wasn't banging. Never. I don't go out to bars and buy women drinks. I've been out to bars, I've met women. I don't buy them drinks. I talk to them. I talk to them like they're a man. I talk to them like one of my friends. I make fun of them. Man, what are you doing out here? What's that all about? What's that? What's this thing here? You know, what are you doing? You out for trouble? You look like you're out for trouble to me. I make fun of them a little bit. I kid around with them, make them laugh. But my overarch is I don't care. That's my attitude. I don't care anymore. You know? I like to have them. I like to bed them. Sure, I would. I mean, I have sometimes. I'm not a one-night stand guy. Just saying, not intentionally. I have had a few, not intentionally. But again, personal power. Women will sense that. If you've got that personal power, you know, some have called it animal magnetism, but it's really just about being a challenge to women, being something that they can't have maybe. It's up in the air. But when a woman knows she can have you, if you walk up, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, I'd love to date you maybe. She can have you. She knows that. It's the guy that walks up to her and starts talking with her and making fun of her a little bit and making her laugh and whatever, you know, blah, 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 you know, listens to her, makes her laugh, all those things. But she knows that maybe this guy doesn't like me, really. Maybe I want this guy, but I'm not sure. The girl with the phone, she wasn't sure, man. She was just obsessed with this guy because she wasn't sure she could have him. It was clear about what he'd said to her and what she recounted during that night, but, you know, she wanted him, and he was like, oh, maybe, you know. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys have known guys who've got lots of women, you know, who had girlfriends and women, you know, fawned over them and had sex with them, you know, and a lot of these guys, you know, just had an air they couldn't care less. And the nice thing is, the more you feel that way about women, that it's something you can have or not have. You know, the more experience you get that way, the more it's like, you know, hey, there's lots of women in the world. You know, with a woman who starts acting up and doing things you don't like, mistreating you, being rude to you, whatever. There's more women out there. The world is absolutely full of them. There's more women in the world than there are men. That personal strength, the strength to say no, the strength to do without, the strength to have some self-control. You know, those are personal things you can all have now. You just have to develop them. You got to take that attitude. I'll tell you a story about this. I'll stop this video. I'll tell a story in the next video, which is like this, analogous to this, which illustrates it perfectly. Well, again, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the series. Again, if you have any questions, or if you're female or male, I'd gladly answer questions for women. If you want to have an insight into how men think, I've been around a lot of men in my day. I've known a lot of men, taught martial arts, talked to a lot of men about sex, love, and relationships, and counseled a lot of them about these things. If you have a question about men, what your man's doing, what it means maybe, or whatever, drop me a note, the message system through YouTube. I'm a little encyclopedia about sex and love and relationships. I'll be glad to answer your question. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. And subscribe if you will.